Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a paid advertising. TheOnlyGround.com, onlyground.com is one of the most amazing places for information that I consistently go to. If you guys want to have conversations about our old interviews or even topics that we don't discuss, the group of people that are on the onlyground.com message boards are some of the most brilliant that I have ever come across. Those little like knick-knack facts that we get here and there, that's where a lot of it comes from. Please check out the link in the bio.
Welcome to the show. I am MMA insider and Herb Dean's dog sitter, Joey Venti, and you're listening to the MMA History Podcast, the only podcast dedicated 100% to the preservation of mixed martial arts history. Interviews and stories about the early days of MMA direct from the men who lived it. Hundreds of interviews, thousands of hours of research, all conducted by the most obsessed mind in the business, the MMA detective Mike Davis. Join us as we document the history of the sport we all love.
Very special episode. We have got a gentleman from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Brazil, a legend within the sport of Jiu Jitsu, a man that has made an incredible mark in mixed martial arts, somebody that has gone from white belt to black belt himself, as well as done with other students that have competed at high levels. This guy is a coach and a mentor to many people here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Please welcome Roberto Traven. Roberto, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Mike. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
So let's kind of let everybody know like what you're doing right now. Would you mind plugging your gym?
Yeah. Right now I have my gym right in Atlanta that I will have a lot of students there and different people, all right, with different goals. But the good thing is they all doing jiu-jitsu, and it's good to be able to help people through jiu-jitsu, you know. Some of them compete, some of them doesn't compete, some of them compete just like local tournaments, some of them compete like high-level tournaments. So it's good to be able to help everybody and have all kind of people, you know. The gym is in Atlanta, Georgia. So Roberto Traven headquarters, so it's pretty good.
Right. So your journey in jiu-jitsu started at what age?
I started when I was 16.
What was the moment that like you began down this path where you said, man, this is it. I have found where I belong?
When I started training, like my older brother, kind of pushed me through to start training. That time in Rio was like a lot of street fights. So my older brother said, you need to know how to defend yourself. You need to start to doing jiu-jitsu. I said, what is that? And then because I did judo when I was a little kid. And then I said, what is that? And he said, oh, it's a martial arts from the Gracie family. So it's very good. You should try it. And then took me a while to try, and then I did it on my professor gym, Romero Cavalcante, Romero Jacaré Cavalcante. All right. One of my friends invited me to go. And then since that day, I never stopped, you know, I never stopped. I get addicted. So I was training like every day, multiple times a day. So was like, I never stopped since I started.
Right. So when you were beginning in jiu-jitsu, it was kind of the height of the Luta Livre versus jiu-jitsu kind of street wars.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see any of that in person?
Oh, yeah. Many times. In Rio was a lot. Yeah, this happened a lot. On that time was a big rivalry between Jiu-Jitsu and Luta Livre. And yeah, I was in the beach when Rickson Gracie fought with Hugo Duarte. So I was there. So yeah, I saw a lot of situations like that happened back then.
At the time that Hugo Duarte and Rickson fought on the beach, did you go knowing there was going to be a fight, or were you at the beach?
Yeah, we knew. We went to me and Fabio Gurgel. We went to train at wasn't Gracie Barra at that time. They didn't wasn't calling Gracie Barra. It was a Gracie Academy at Barra da Tijuca. So we went to train there on Friday, and then because we used to go train in different place, so we went to train there Friday, and then I don't remember who told us. I think it was Crawling Gracie, or yeah, it was Master Crawling Gracie, or Master Carlos Gracie Jr. I think it was Master Crawling Gracie. Told us, hey, tomorrow Rickson's gonna fight Hugo Duarte. So if you guys can come to help, to have a people, like we can have a good amount of people from Jiu-Jitsu, because the guys from Luta Livre, they have a lot of people with them. So if you guys can come to help, so this way you can make sure that the fight can happen, just both of them fight, nobody else get involved. So we said, yeah, of course you can help.
How old were you at this time?
Man, I was a purple belt.
Okay.
I was like probably like 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So imagine you going into your gym today, getting all the kids, all the teenagers. We're going to the beach, guys. So and so is going to fight. It's a different time.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
What was your recollection of the fight on the beach?
Say again, sorry.
What was your recollection of what took place that day?
You mean like what happened?
In your eyes, yes.
Oh, man, it was like because Rickson was about to move from Rio to Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on that time, like Hugo Duarte was saying a lot of things about Rickson Gracie, that he want to fight Rickson, this and that. So, and then like this is why Rickson, before he left to America, he decided to do that. And what I like have on my mind from what happened was like because it's kind of like Rickson was like our like idol, like, so the guy that was everybody in Jiu-Jitsu was looking up to. At least people at my gym, like, I mean, it was the entire Jiu-Jitsu community was looking up to him. So it was like kind of like, man, I can't believe like I got invited to be part of that, like was kind of that like, wow, like our idol is fighting somebody, not a tournament, like a street fight, and we got invited to be able to be part of that. You know what I mean? To be part of that situation. So what was crazy that time.
I mean, if for people to kind of understand it today, the possibility of you getting arrested was very high, and it was an honor to be arrested.
Yeah. By the way, one cop came. All right, one cop came in the middle of the fight because at some point was Hugo Duarte and Rickson was fighting, and some point a lot of people was fighting too, on the side. So one cop show up, got his gun, shot in the air, and yelled, stop, and nobody listened to him. And then he just walked away to get more cops,
Good. Yeah, no.
But also people in America has a different reality, because something like that in America would be crazy.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, especially at that time, was like Nobody thought, oh, I can be arrested. Nobody thought that at all. No, no, wasn't a possibility. Nobody thought about that. Nobody was concerned with that possibility, you know.
That's
Different than
phenomenal.
if you're something here, yeah, people's gonna say, no, man, I'm gonna get arrested, somebody's gonna sue me, whatever. But over there, forget about
That's phenomenal.
it.
That's phenomenal. Um, did you also ever interact with Ryan Gracie?
Yeah, Hai was
A
younger
little
than
younger.
me, all
Yeah.
right. So I saw like a lot of situations with Ryan. I mean, I always have a really good relationship with him, you know. Um, and I saw sometimes he like some fights that he was involved with, but I mean, he was a kid that if you tell him something like disrespectful, you know, like to him or one of his family members, you have to fight. You know, you have to fight. He's like he. I mean, he wasn't care if how big you are or whatever. If something happened, he'll fight you. You know. So, but he was from a generation before my generation. He was
Right.
way younger than me.
He and Joe Moriera were very close, when they were kids.
Who, Ryan?
Ryan and Joe Moriera, for sure, for sure. Or no, Wander Braga. I apologize. Ryan and Wander Braga definitely hung out
Mhm.
as kids.
Yeah, because I think Ryan Vander, but they're about the same age, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, you're hanging around with people that would become legendary internationally, and you guys are all from like the same area. Did it ever dawn on you at that time that everybody here or a lot of people here are going to become very famous and influential on a world stage?
No, we never thought about that. We never thought that jiu-jitsu be where jiu-jitsu is. You know what I mean? Like we never even thought about, like imagine, like dream about, because wasn't too far away. So we never thought about that. Stuff just happens, you know.
But it was one after another. It's like, oh, it's this person's turn, this person's turn, this person's turn. Like your original teacher, Jacques Rye. That guy, I mean, look at him now. Look where he came from. Look where he's at now. It's hard to believe that so many people from your area became incredibly successful just on accident.
No, what
It's
was
too many.
no, what wasn't an accident, but wasn't something that was planning, you know,
Was
like
planned.
nobody could plan something that we don't know that exists, you know. So well, of course it wasn't an accident because everybody was working really hard for what you
Yeah.
have on that moment. Everybody was training hard and prepared themselves really well for the amount of tournament we have that time. Wasn't like nowadays that you have tournaments every weekend. Wasn't like that. Wasn't even close. Uh, but everybody was working hard, 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 hard. And then today, if you ask, but why you guys working so hard on that time if you don't have that perspective, you know?
You're right.
Yeah, so we are just in love with jiu-jitsu, you know, addicted to jiu-jitsu, and we are working hard because everybody was having the desire to be the best, you know, like on the few tournaments that we are going to, we just want to do better from on that tournament than the guys from other gyms that was we are competing against. Like was pretty much that because nobody could imagine. Oh, in couple year in couple in couple years, Carlos Gracie Jr. Is gonna create IBJJF, and
IBJJF. Yeah.
then we're gonna have World Tournament in Brazil. The first one was 1996, and then after that, Couple of years after that, the tournament. 10 years after that, the tournament is going to be in LA, and this is going to happen. Nobody could imagine that.
No.
Nobody. And jiu-jitsu is going to be all over the world. Nobody. Jiu-jitsu is going to, how I'm going to imagine that with jiu-jitsu, I'll be able to go like all over the world.
Buy a house, have children that have
Yeah.
education. Yeah.
No, nobody could imagine that on that time.
How I kind of relate to it is that there's a very small area in the world that becomes incredibly influential to the rest of the world. But everybody involved there that took it serious, that gave their soul, gave their life to it, did something incredibly special with their talent. And it was at a time where you guys didn't know. You just did it because it was true love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's different than today. Like, example, my son, all right? He's 13. He's gonna be 14 in April. And he trains jiu-jitsu like, I can say like very clear that he's a professional athlete because he's a homeschool kid.
Oh,
so this way he can train more. All right. So he does at least 2 trainings a day, at least 2 sessions a day, at least. So he trains like more than 20 hours a week. But this generation, they can see what's going on now. So he can say, okay, I'm going to do that because I love jiu-jitsu and I can have a career on that. I can make money competing. And then on the same time, after a while, I can start to think about to open a gym. And then I can make money on that. So it's totally different now. So the road was paved like long time ago, and then the new generation came and could see like a lot of different ways to go. It's totally different than what happened on our time. On our time was, like you said, it was just true love for the art.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
You mentioned that you started with Jacare.
Mm-hmm.
You may have been a little bit young, but did you ever get to experience like grappling with holes, Gracie?
No, because when I started, Master Horse Gracie already passed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody says he was the true superstar, Gracie. Like when, prior to passing, it was they would describe him like a movie star.
Yeah, this is what we grew up hearing about that. By that time, he was the best on the family, all right? And Master Rickson was growing up, all right? But Master Horse Gracie was he was for the family, for the sport, what Rickson became.
Right.
So this is how I can see.
Right. You also trained with a very young Gabi García.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Because I know I wonder, you guys never crossed paths at that gym, huh?
No. When first time I saw Gabi García was at the Worlds, she was a purple belt.
Okay.
And the Worlds already in California, right?
Uh-huh.
And this was before she moved to Alliance. She was in another gym that I don't remember, another team that I don't remember which team was. And then she moved to Alliance when she became like very famous and started to win all the titles she got it. But we never be at the gym, like, because it was different generations,
Okay. So you started with judo. Did you ever train with George Medhi?
Yeah, when I was a kid. I did judo with George Medhi when I was a kid. All right. I did judo with him, Sensei Medhi, when I was a little kid. And then after that, I did like a kid, nothing serious. like maybe 3 times a week. And then I stopped for a while, and then I started jiu-jitsu.
There was always a little bit of a rivalry between him and the Gracie family.
Yeah, I heard about it. That was something that happened in the past, but I never like really know what happened. You know, I never find out what happened. You know, my opinion was just like these guys say that judo is better. These guys say that jiu-jitsu is better, and like, you know, go back and forth. Like
It's normal.
Yeah, normal stuff.
Yeah.
I never knew like if it was something deeper than that.
Did you respect George?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because yeah, a lot of, I mean, when I went to train with him, I was a little kid. I didn't know nothing about it. But as I grew up, and then I started to know about the martial arts world, and then I mean, he was like a real deal.
Very influential.
Yeah.
And I think he's underappreciated too for his contributions.
Yeah, I mean, I heard different stuff, you know, I don't know exactly, but for sure, like everybody that I know from jiu-jitsu, everybody respect him a lot.
Okay. What about Paqueta? The video guy.
The video guy, yeah.
The original YouTuber from Brazil.
Yes. Yeah, he was a very nice guy. Very nice guy. He did a lot for jiu-jitsu because like he was the one that started to record in the tournaments, you know, the big tournaments on that time. And he did a lot. Well, like we started recording the videos of the fights. The tournament was, I mean, amazing. What he did for the art was amazing.
We started this conversation with talking about the difficulties between Luta Livre and Jiu Jitsu at the time. Paqueta seemed to have an ability to go with both, you know, different, the Luta Livre people as well as the Jiu Jitsu people with no problems. How do you think he was able to manage those relationships without having issues?
I don't know. I think everybody, both sides, was seeing him as a professional guy, and on that time he was the only one that doing that job. So probably both sides realized that they need him. You know, both sides need him. So, you know, so this is why, and also on top of that, he was amazing person. So it wasn't hard to get a good relationship with him because he was very nice person. So on top of that, both sides needed him to I mean, to expand the world,
grow,
you know,
to
grow exactly. So this is why I think he was able to do that, you know.
I really hope one day they make a statue of him. His contributions to jiu-jitsu and its growth.
He
deserves it. Yes,
for sure.
Yeah. You had mentioned February IBJJF, the start of it. It was February 4th, 1996. You go up against Mario Sperry, the first ever IBJJF, the big tournament.
Yeah, we didn't fight against each other because on the same final match, I hurt my shoulder. So Zé Mario went to the final, but the final, I could fight the final. So Zé Mario was first place, got the championship. I got second place, but the final could happen because I hurt my shoulder.
It's a walkover.
Yeah, so
it's listed as a loss.
Yeah, it was a loss. Yeah,
but it is. I guess it is.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't fight the final, so you lost. And then this was 1996, first Worlds in Rio. And then
that's nuts.
Yeah, we fought in 2000. In 2000, we did a super fight.
We did a super fight.
ADCC.
ADCC, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to it. So
yeah.
After that, you pop back up on a scene at UFC 11, September 20th, 1996. You enter an 8-man tournament. Dave Barry is your opponent. What is going through your head? I mean, you're in Brazil. Now you're in the United States. You're walking out of a curtain in front of millions of people. it's got to be a pretty wild experience your first time.
Oh yeah, for sure was very. I mean, how can I say? It was very like. Was a unique situation, you know, because like you said, came from Brazil. That time was the first time I went to overseas, you know. Yeah, I was like fighting UFC. Of course, UFC that time wasn't big like today, but on that time was very big, you know, for the time, the moment. Yeah, I was very like interested, like and exciting, like and almost unbelievable experience, you know. Like sometimes was like, man, look where I came from, look where I am. What was this kind of thoughts coming to my mind, you know?
Your family, I'm sure when you explain to your family, no, I got my visa. I'm going to the United States to go fight an American in a cage in his country, not mine. Like the reception of that, you know, people were, huh? You're going to do what?
Yeah. Yeah, people like you said, what? Like, but we're on the point that okay, this is what you do for a living. So
Yeah.
My mom thought it was like a jiu-jitsu tournament. I didn't explain much.
You lied to your mom, yeah.
She thought it was just a jiu-jitsu tournament. But yeah, it happened like that. Yes.
You can imagine the people. I always knew there was something wrong with him. I always knew it. You know, that's
Say again, sorry.
You can imagine some of the response.
Oh, okay.
I always knew there was something wrong with Roberto. See, look what he's doing. I told you. I told you. Yeah.
Yes.
You also cornered Fabio Gurgel in his match with Jerry Bolander. Man, very tough fight. Jerry Bolander was an incredible athlete at this time.
Yeah. But was a very close match, you know.
Yeah.
Was very close match. My opinion can be both ways, you know. Could go to Fabio, they gave to Jerry Bolander, but it was a fight that easily could go
either way.
The other way. Yeah.
You also broke your hand. I know you were one of the people they were trying to, because you were an alternate at this time, and they tried to put you in the finals against Mark Coleman. What were those conversations like backstage?
Yeah, they gave us this opportunity, and I didn't take it, and was something that later I regret. You know, I didn't take on that moment, and was like one of the things on my career that I regret. You know, I think later on, I think that later on I realized that I should take the opportunity, regardless what could happen on the results in the end. I should take the opportunity, you know.
But you didn't know. You know, it's like you said later when you knew.
Yeah.
But you didn't know. Yeah, I mean, you just
exactly.
thought you were there for.
So this is why I regret. I thought, okay, that time I should have a different attitude and do it, you know.
That same year, you cornered Fabio against Amaury Bitech.
No, I mean, They fought each other like jiu-jitsu tournaments.
It was a jiu-jitsu tournament in the Mundials.
Yeah. I mean, me and Fabio, like the other guys on the team, we always
Very
have each
close.
other's back when people was competing. You know, we always try to coach each other. It was something that was on our when you're growing up, we were always doing that no matter what, you know. Fabio, Alexandre Paiva, Fabio's brother, Fernando Gurgel, we always try to help each other, you know. When one of us was competing, the other guys always like try to help.
In this sport at this time, there was a lot of kind of underworld dealings. People that you might never want to do business with, but because you're fighting, you kind of have to. April 30th, 1997, Absolute Fighting Championship 2. You find yourself in Moscow, Russia.
Yeah.
Would this fall into that category that I just described?
I mean, they treat me very well, you know.
Fair.
They treat me very well. And I mean, by the time when that happened, you know, like was a good money for the time that they pay. And and also like with me, everything was good, everything was fine. Even if in the end of the tournament, I did a three fights.
Eight-man tournament, three fights.
Eight-man tournament, yeah. So it was 3 fights on the same night. After I get paid, the owner of the tournament said, hey, look, my guys, like, is gonna bring you guys to the hotel, all right? But everybody knows that you won the tournament. Everybody knows that you make money. They don't know how much money you make, but everybody knows you have money. So after they drop you guys at the hotel, you guys on you, all right? So just be careful. So we said, okay, and you have to stay there for 2 more days because one of our teammates, Leonardo Branco, was in an event, like a super fight event, you know, 2 days after. So we have to remain in Russia for 2 more days, you know. So, but like I said, with me, everything was good.
Okay,
you know?
hey, let me dig into this, Matt, because there's some crazy things that took place in regards to this, like that I read about. Let's talk about the tournament first. You got Artem Vigzlovsky, you win by rear naked choke. Maxim Tarasov, I mean, a very well-known name in a sambo circles. You win by rear naked choke at 247. And then Leonid Efremov, you knock him out in the finals in 253. I think Don Frye was in Efremov's corner at the time. I see Don Frye in a video, and it appears like he's in his corner, probably drunk. Do you remember that?
Because on this tournament was myself, couple fighters from Russia, and couple fights from America. I think Don Frye was there with the American guys.
Okay.
I remember on my second fight, Oleg Takhtarov was coaching the Russian guy.
Legend.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that because one time
Federation.
we clinched each other against the fence, and I was in front of the fence. I clinched the guy, his back was against the fence, and I was looking to Don Frye. Oh, sorry, to Oleg Takhtarov. I was looking to Oleg Takhtarov. He was giving the guy instructions. So probably when you saw Don Frye on the video, he was just like on the event, but he was with the American guys.
So you got Fabio Gurgel in your corner, Claudio Coelho, he's your boxing instructor, and Leonardo Branco.
Yes.
Now, 2 days after this, Leonardo Branco has a closed door match against Igor Vovchanchyn.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and if it was any other event, Leonardo, you'll be the winner of the fight because he mount a couple of times, he took his back a couple of times, and every time he was in a dominant position on the ground, the ref was stand them up, you know. So was any other event, Leonardo was be the winner, and they give like the result as a draw, but because it was there in Russia, you know, if it was any other place, any other event, Leonardo be the winner.
So Leonardo Branco had a win over Liborio.
Yes.
That's incredible. Not many people can say that.
Yeah, they fought. Yeah.
That's incredible.
This was as a brown belt, I think. I'm not sure now. I'm not sure if it was a brown belt or black belt. Yeah, I can't remember.
How would you describe training with your boxing coach, Claudio Coelho?
I mean, it was one of the best trains that I have like on my life, you know, like training with somebody like that, like him, was incredible. Like he's not that just the train himself, the training, but everything that's involved, like when you have a coach, you know, everything you need to all the trust you need to have for the person, and also is the other way too. He need to trust you, like to know that you're doing the best you can, you know, and you have, I mean, you pick somebody to be, that's my coach, because that person is everything for you, you know, like whatever he tells you, and you believe 100%. So it was one of the best time of my career as a fighter, as a competitor. Being with Master Claudio Coelho, you know, was amazing.
So he also, he's one of those guys that also kind of doesn't, the rules don't apply to him. Like he has he's got Murilo Bustamante, he's also got Marco Ruas as his student in the heat of the Jiu Jitsu versus Luta Livre rivalry. Were those sparring sessions with the Luta Livre guy, did they ever get heated?
Not on Master Claudio Coelho Academy, no. Because also was the same thing like you said before about Paqueta.
Paqueta.
So with Claudio Coelho, I mean, besides his being an amazing human being that everybody want to be around him, because who he was, all right. On top of that, being amazing human being, he was amazing boxing coach. So you don't care if he trains you, but he trains the Luta Livre guy, you know? So as long as you can be with him, as long as you can learn from him, as long as you can have him on your corner, you don't care, you know, because you're not gonna say, oh, he trained myself, but also he trained this guy that belongs to Luta Livre. I'm not gonna train with him anymore. You're not gonna do that, you know, because you don't wanna
special. Is that
exactly
special?
you don't wanna miss him. You don't wanna lose him. Sorry, you don't wanna lose him. So I think that was the perfect explanation, you know. Everybody wants him around. So for not just being amazing boxing coach, but of course to be an amazing boxing coach too, but especially to be an amazing human being, you know.
Okay. So I translated a couple of his interviews, and I saw that he claimed that Murilo Bustamante was his best student. One of his best students that he ever had was Murilo.
Yeah, for sure. Murilo has really good boxing.
Dude,
really good.
Very ahead of his time.
Of course, he trained other guys like that, really good hands boxing, like Marco Ruas, but Marco Ruas is like striking, you know, like his background is like striking. So, And then, of course, and then he became very good in all the other areas. But Murilo is a guy that came from Jiu-Jitsu, you know, and for sure, like the Jiu-Jitsu guy, the better Jiu-Jitsu guy that was doing boxing was Murilo at that time, by far, by far.
He's just a pure athlete.
Yeah, by far was the best one.
How it was described to me in past interviews, what George Medhi was to judo, Coelho was to boxing in Brazil.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Is that a fair comparison?
I don't know because I think Medhi, because Medhi, he's from France, you know, and so he was well known in Europe and other places, you know. And Master Claudio Coelho was like a guy from Rio de Janeiro, from the favela de Cantagalo, that was just like conquer the world, you know. So I don't know if this comparison is fair. Is like
okay.
You know, but for sure, I mean, Master Claudio was like is like he's in another level, you know, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. In January of 1998, in the IBJJF, you get a win over Jean-Jacques Machado.
Yes.
That's an incredible thing to have on your record.
Oh yeah, what was a good tournament.
And then in 1999, you compete in the second ADCC. It's in Abu Dhabi. How do you get the invite?
On that time, they didn't have qualifiers or nothing like that. People was getting invited, you know, and Kid Peligro, all right. He's like Holly friend, you know, very close to Holly Gracie. So I asked Holly, hey, Holly, do you think you can make the approach so maybe I can talk with Kid Peligro and he can maybe put me in on the show? And then Holly said, yeah, for sure. And then Holly make the connection between me and Kid Peligro, and then he put him on the show, on the ADCC.
It's who was your roommate?
Was me and Fabio Gurgel, yeah.
You guys got lucky.
Yeah.
You guys got lucky. This was your first experience in the Middle East, then?
Yes.
Man, look what jiu-jitsu has done for me. It's taken you from Rio. You've seen the United States. You've seen the Middle East.
Yeah, all over. Japan, Belgium. Yeah, I lost count on all the places that I have been through jiu-jitsu.
That's pretty amazing. That's amazing. Jiri Reichel, he's a South African wrestler. That's your first opponent. And then you ran into Jeff Monson, who takes gold that year.
The division, yeah.
In the division, yes. Gold in the division that year. Yeah.
Because that year I won the open class.
Yes. Yeah. You get the absolute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Monson is one of those guys that he may have been one of the first people to really understand how to game the rules of ADCC. Like he understood the rules and how to manipulate them to his benefit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. When you go to the absolute, Fabiano Capuane, he beat him 2-0. He won the Pans the following year. That guy is legit.
Oh, yeah.
Bebo Duarte, beat him 6-0. That guy's legit. Garth Taylor, you win by 5-0. And then you go into the finals with the Japanese opponent, Hayato Sakuri.
Yeah.
Dude, outside of yourself, Sakurai's run is absolutely incredible. And had you not beat him that year, I think it would be considered one of those legendary performances. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's just you ran into yourself.
Yes. Yeah. But he did a very good job on the opening class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
To
he's a
win the
small guy
fight.
too.
Yeah.
He's small.
Yes. Yeah.
You beat him 2-0. Sakuri that year beat Pederneiras, Fabiano Ija, Eddie Ruiz, Vinny Magalhaes, and Rico Rodriguez. All of those guys,
Exactly.
dude, like he beats.
Yeah.
And then he runs into you in the finals. Like that,
Yeah.
those names on one resume in one tournament.
Yeah. I was impressed when he beat Rico Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I think he footlocked Rico Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. So you win the gold that year in the absolute. Later on, obviously, it's an incredible feat, but this is like the third year that ADCC exists. Did you know that it would carry the prestige then as it does today?
What was the second year? But that was 1999.
98 was the
Was the
first year.
first?
Oh, this is 99. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
second
the
year.
second year. Well, I apologize.
Yeah, second year.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah.
Did you know it would carry the prestige then as it does now?
We never imagined. We never imagined that. We never imagined that ADCC will become what ADCC it is now, and we never imagined that was be like a really important title on the career. We never imagined that.
So at this time, I remember reading the brackets. Like before the ADC starts, you read all the names and you're like, what? Who's there all at one time? And these were the years that made ADCC special, like what it is today. This is the roots of that tree.
For sure, yes, for sure.
Very incredible. At ADCC 3, you're in a super fight with Mario Sperry, future ADCC Hall of Famer. You finally get that IBJJF match, although this is no gi.
Yeah.
How would you describe your experience with Mario?
I mean, I could fight much better than I did. I could have a much better performance. I just like I had to take more action than I was waiting too much for him to shoot. So I can try to recount, like a counterattack. But was a wrong strategy. I should pull guard and see what's going to happen. I changed too much of my game. I should not do that. I should at least pull guard. That was I was doing was my main game. And see what's going to happen. If I lose, at least I lose trying to do what I know better. Then start on my feet. I had couple months training prior to the tournament, learning wrestling with Babalu and Antoine. But of course, wasn't something that was natural for me. It wasn't natural. I should do what was natural for me. So it was a bad strategy. And of course, Zemario is very good athlete, very smart, very technical.
Zemario.
So
there were rumors this year that Zemario was going to go up against Rickson. Like this was the year that the match would have happened. It didn't turn out, but yeah, it was cool. When I remember when your name got announced as a super fight against Mario, I thought it was cool. Like I was excited. Two guys from Brazil doing a super fight in the Middle East.
It was good. It was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You promoted Terere to black belt after 5 years.
No, it wasn't me. He got promoted by Alexandre Paiva. He trained at our gym that me and Alexandre Paiva has together. All right. But Alexandre Paiva was his professor. Alexandre Paiva was the one that promoted it.
Did you know he was special right away when you saw him?
Again, we're never going to imagine that he's going to be what he became, but we knew that the kid was different, you know, the way he was training, the way he was competing. We knew there was a different kid. But we never imagined that he's going to be, you know, that level.
And Gurgel falls into that category as well. There was a story that Gurgel got keys to the gym so he could be there when nobody else was in order to keep training.
No, he was the one that was doing that first. Because when I started training with Master Jacaré, Fabio Gurgel and Alexandre Paiva, they are right there, you know. They are right there. So they are right doing that. That's before cool. Me. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. And June 16, 2000, you find yourself in Japan. Gueorguiev, Zatkov, another very, very tough fight in the rings. It was that rings tournament, probably the most talent-heavy tournament probably in existence, if you really look at who was in it. And I mean, it was 32 people.
Yeah.
What was your experience in Japan? Another first for you.
Yeah, well, it was a good experience. Yeah, it was a very good experience. By the time I was training at who was Vale Tudo team, all right, with Pedro Rizzo, Renato Sobral, Babalu, Antônio Jaúde, coach Roberto Leitão, also his dad, Master Leitão. So with a lot of other teammates, really good teammates too, like Dado, Shimu, a lot of other guys. So Cacareco. So a lot of it was a really tough team. But that time I was training there, and my understanding about MMA was better, you know, like a little bit about not just ground game jiu-jitsu, but about wrestling and stand-up and striking. So it was a very good experience, that tournament. Rings.
Was it difficult going and training with the Luta Livre guys?
I mean, was a different environment until you know everybody and they realize that, okay, you from jiu-jitsu, but you're a nice guy, nice teammate, helps the team. Took a while.
Get there? How does it get there though? Like, what makes everybody just go, okay, we need to have a truce, let's work together? Brazilians can be very stubborn.
Oh yeah. I think was the situation, you know, like to be honest, they start with I think they start with Master Marco Ruas, but he was the one that
Alan Goes too.
He was like a stand-up guy, and then he started to train other martial arts to be a well-around fighter, you know. So he was amazing striking, but he became really good in jiu-jitsu and ground fight, you know. So he became really good wrestling, the feint takedown. So this, I think this opened people's eyes, and then everybody wanna like, okay, everybody agreed that was a smart decision. So when Pedro Riz was my friend, so when he invited me to go to train at Ruas Vale Tudo team, like at the beginning, like I said, some guys like, man, didn't like, so this guy from Jiu-Jitsu, but, and then when they realized, okay, this guy's from Jiu-Jitsu, but he's a nice guy, you know, so And then same thing for me. I realized, okay, they're nice people too. They just from Luta Livre, so well, they're nice. So, and then of course I was there because I asked Pedro to bring me over there because I knew it was something important for me as a fighter, as an athlete.
Fighter, yeah.
So I need to learn. And I think when I was there, they also realized, okay, man, we need to make our jiu-jitsu better too. So Traven can help us. So it was a perfect combination. So it was very good. And like the friends I made there, like I'm still my friends who were, like really good friends, really good people. So what was a nice decision I had.
Alan Goes was in Puerto Rico when he ran into Huaz and Hizzo, and they just looked at each other and they're like, "Man," he's like, "But then we were cool." You know what I mean? It was just like after that we were good. But right around this time as well, Rickson was being interviewed by the UFC, and or not Rickson, Huaz. Huaz was being interviewed by the UFC, and he would publicly state, "I want to fight Rickson." Like he was respectful the way he said it, but he's got jujitsu guys training with him now, and he's saying somebody that you guys all respect, he'd like the opportunity to fight. It had to have been not very comfortable when he would do things like that.
Yeah, but like you said, he was respectful and professional. He wanna like fight the best. So if the best was John whatever, he wouldn't say I wanna fight John whatever because he's the best and I wanna challenge myself. So, but I never heard or never saw nothing that came from Marco who was being disrespectful with
No,
jiu-jitsu.
no, no. He was. I mean, I just watched it yesterday. Yeah, no, he was definitely respectful. Yeah. In the rings tournament, Mikhail Borisov, another sambo expert, you beat him by decision. Dave Manet, you lose a decision to Dave Manet. That's the UFC's first 185-pound champion.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I didn't lose the fight to Dave Menez, but the judge gave to him. I don't think I lost, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's close fight, close. Um, Manet had a couple decisions like that. I didn't think he beat Barklev either, and they gave Manet. I respect Dave. I think he belongs in the UFC Hall of Fame. He's the first 185-pound champion, but I think he's got a couple wins on his record that maybe were gifted unintentionally. I mean, you guys are in Japan.
Yeah.
It's not like he had influence. It's just how
Exactly.
it
Yeah,
went.
happens.
In 2001, you go back to ADCC and you get matched up against a monster of a human being, Tom Erickson.
Correct. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It was a great experience. Um, to prove that jiu-jitsu is amazing martial arts. So like the size difference was huge, but
Yes.
but it's like I didn't get smashed. The fight he couldn't
No.
pass my guard. I couldn't sweep him, but he couldn't pass my guard, so he ended up winning by ref
Position.
decision.
Yeah. Position.
But
Yeah.
but it's something that was another situation that proved that how good jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah. Yeah. Pedapano, as well as your next opponent. And he traveled the world at this time too. I think you're living in Australia shortly after this.
Yes. Myself, all right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Training out of Jacob's Gym in Brisbane, Australia, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
How long were you in Australia for?
From
2003.
2 years. 2 years.
Did you like living there?
Was a good experience, you know, was a good experience. By the time I was there, jiu-jitsu wasn't that popular,
Okay.
you know. So people really didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. Just some couple of cities, like big cities, people already knew jiu-jitsu, but pretty much else, all other places people didn't know. I think it was people knew jiu-jitsu in Sydney, Perth. To be honest, I think it was that. And everything else in Australia, people didn't know about jiu-jitsu. So it was hard to make a living of that, you know. But it's not like today, like everybody in Australia knows jiu-jitsu, you know. So, and I remember I have a gym. I was teaching with one of my students, and then when I told him that, I said, man, I'm gonna leave. I decided to leave. I'm going to West. This was 2005, and he said, okay. I said, just do whatever you can do with this small space. I said, do whatever you think, whatever you can do with the gym. So, man, good luck. And then, man, he stayed there. That gym is like huge now, you know,
Huge. Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
huge. Has like, man, a lot of students. So it's totally different, you know. Yeah, of course, he did an amazing job staying, be persistent, but also like people start to knew what jiu-jitsu was, you know.
The
So
education. Yeah, the
yeah.
education. In 2007, Gracie Magazine reported that yourself, Junior Assunção, Diego Lima, Chucao, Jeff Bedard, and Diego Sariva are trained together to form a super team. You were very good at collecting people and putting them in the same room. I think
Yeah,
that
we are training together. Like, to be honest, we didn't have a team, like a name, this team called this name, whatever. We didn't have that. We are training together to help each other, to make each other better, you know. So of this group, like at least 3 people, the Assunção brothers, Diego Saraiva. Yeah, at least 3, because Douglas Lima was way younger. I don't remember Douglas being on those trains, just at the end, I think. But on this group, like Assunção brothers, Junior and Rafael, plus Diego Saraiva, they end up fighting UFC, you know? They end up like competing in UFC. So it was
pretty incredible.
was a good
Mix.
team training. Was a good team.
So I remember like when reading that, I'm like, man, he's putting a whole bunch of people together that normally would never be in the same room with one another. And I remember I'm like, you know, maybe that's
and sorry, and Juan Carneiro Jucão too. So of these people we have
Chucao. Yeah.
so some brothers, Diego Saraiva and Jucão, 4 people on that group was fighting UFC.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Chucao is a very special trainer as well. I kind of took from it that whatever lessons you learned from crossing the line and working with the Luta Livre guys, it was kind of you were now teaching other people whatever lessons that were taken from there. You're now showing the other people by getting all these guys in the same room. It's pretty special.
yeah.
One of your black belts was named Ethan Garrison. He was 8-0 in mixed martial arts with 7 finishes. He never fought in the UFC, and he just kind of seemed to stop.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember why. Ethan was a monster.
Savage.
Yeah, I don't remember why he didn't move to a big event. You know, I don't remember what happened. You know.
Yeah, he's finishing everybody.
Yeah.
Let's close and talk about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Rory and Adam Singer.
The brothers they trained with me for a while, so it was very good experience, I think, for both sides, you know, because they have a lot of experience in mixed martial arts world. So and overall, all right. So it was a very good experience for me. I think for them too. Yeah.
Oh, they definitely. Yeah, I saw some interviews where they spoke very highly of you. Did you also get to train Forrest Griffin back in the day?
No, I
No.
never know. No, no.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
when I start training with Jorge Adam, um, Forrest already in Vegas, already UFC as a contract with UFC, he was already in Vegas.
Okay. Um, one of your first black belts, Mario Eshafen McCord,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, future world champion.
Yeah, he living in Austin. Um, knew him since like he was a kid in Brazil, in Rio. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very
you
tough guy.
yeah, you brought him from white belt to black belt.
Yes, yes, yeah,
That's
very,
incredible.
very tough kid.
Robert Drysdale.
Uh, Robert Traven will never be my student. Um, I met him after he won the ADCC. I think he won the ADCC 2009, correct? If
It's
I'm not wrong.
2009. Is there 9 or
2009.
11? Is there 9 or 11? All right, go
No, I
ahead.
think 11 was André Galvão.
Okay.
I think Drysdale was 2009. And I met him after that in Chicago. And Rodrigo Comprido's gym for a seminar. This is when I met Robert Drysdale first time, like in person. You know, I knew
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
of course, but first time I met him was like on that time was a very nice and very tough guy. Yeah, we
Yeah,
trained that day. He submitted me a couple of times.
really.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I like his books. I like his books. His history books are very good.
yeah.
Um, Leo Vieira,
I mean, Gilbert was a genius, you know,
legend.
genius. Yeah, he was ahead on the time. I think I can say like that. The techniques he was doing back then was already ahead, you know, like I was already advanced, you know, what he was doing back then. He was a
Wow.
genius. Yeah.
And ADCC trials winner Chris Moriarty.
What about Chris
Chris
Moriarty?
Moriarty, he won the ADCC trials at one
Uh-huh.
point.
Yeah.
Another special student.
Yeah, he wasn't like my student directly. He was a
It's your
Jacaré
lineage.
student,
Yeah, it's your
you know.
lineage. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, very tough guy. Very, very tough. Very technical, you know. Very, very technical. Um, he was my opinion, he was the one that if was stick on it, he'll be professional and high level. But he didn't. I think when he got his black belt and then he went to school to college to be a doctor. But for sure if he was sticking on it, he was be a professional high level athlete for sure, for sure.
I always like it when I see a doctor with cauliflower ear because I know, they know what hard work is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just to be a doctor is hard, and a doctor that trains jiu-jitsu like that is even harder. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
The floor is yours. What advice would you give somebody in the world of jujitsu?
Uh, and their device is uh, work hard, be persistent. You know, there is no shortcut. You know, if it's too easy, probably it's not right. Okay, if your way is too easy, it's not probably you're missing something. It's not on the right way. Um, and looks like this is what everybody say, but this is true. So if you want to be successful something, if you want to succeed on something, this is what you need to do. You need to be a hard worker, be consistent, and know that there is no shortcut for the top. You know, like
Mhm.
man, it's like life. Some days gonna be good, some days not gonna be good. Um, but what you do when this happening with your life, you keep going because you have no other way. you know, it's the same thing. So some days are gonna be very good, but some days not. And the days that's not good, you have to keep going, move forward, you know. So it's pretty big, it's pretty simple, but it's not everybody that can do it, you know.
Yeah, if it's easy, is it worth having? You know, it's supposed to be hard. If it's not
Yeah,
hard,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, if it's too easy, it's something wrong.
yeah, you don't respect it. Yeah,
Yeah, if it's too easy, something wrong,
yeah.
you know.
Man, you're an absolute gentleman. Thank you for your time. I know it's, you know, we've kind of had some time issues in regards to this.
Yeah,
I sincerely appreciate this time we've had together, man. Thank you,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a legend of jiu-jitsu. Those old school jiu-jitsu guys, especially that have kind of seen some stuff in the barrio of Brazil, I really, really like getting those guys on here. It's kind of like a personal point of pride for me because it's like you got the story right from the person. And there's no, well, he said this, I remember this person told me that. It's kind of you get everything at the right from the source. So we're kind of revamping the podcast. MMA History Podcast is where we're going. I'm gonna have t-shirts and stickers, hopefully very soon by the time this airs, actually. I'm gonna be getting packages out to people. We need you guys to spread the word. If you guys can like, share, subscribe, throw some comments on YouTube, leave us a review on Apple, things like that really, really help out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you.